Now, one of the most controversial bills of the current legislative session centers around guns on college campuses. KETV's lead Capitol reporter Janelle Lilly sits down with the bill's sponsor, Representative Charlie Collins. Janelle?
Thank you, Roby. I'm joined now by Representative Charlie Collins, and this is one of the more controversial bills, we'll just go ahead and call it, of the session that we've run into so far. It's called House Bill 1077-1077, and it ran in committee this past week. Charlie, there were a lot of questions coming into this bill about it, what impact it was going to have on college campuses. There was kind of a similar bill run last session that most of the colleges exempted out of. Why did you feel like it was important for you to go ahead, make corrections almost to the bill that you ran last time, and then run it again?
Those are all great questions. The difference between this bill and the bill that we passed last time is this takes the opt-out provision away, so that if you are a concealed carry holder, a college professor, or full-time faculty member, you would be allowed to carry on the campus if you chose. The purpose for this is, how do we protect our children and loved ones on our college campuses? I personally believe that gun-free zones, places like that, are the type that get targeted by some cold, calculating folks. And if we were allowed to have concealed carry holders on campus, it would deter some of those attacks. All of the massacres of 3 or more people in the last 50 years, virtually all of those have occurred in gun-free zones, and that's what we're trying to stop here: protect our loved ones and keep our people safe.
Now, the opportunity to opt in or to opt out, I should say, of the last time we passed a bill similar to this, all of the universities that are public in the state of Arkansas actually took that option. They opted out of it. Why did you feel that it was necessary to take that away from them this time and allow those who have already gone through the rigors of getting a concealed carry license to go ahead and carry on campus?
Well, I think we're making progress. It's slow, but if you think back a few years, it was against the law in Arkansas on a college campus, even if you had a concealed carry permit, and regardless of what the governing board said, it was against the law for you to carry on campus. So in the last session, we got to the point where if a university board wanted to allow that to happen, the law was designed for them to do that, but if they chose not to, they could opt out, and they all opted to continue the policy, which has been in place for a long time. And I understand that, because this is a very emotional issue, and in our minds, it feels so comforting to think that the police are going to rescue us. And the reality is the police can do a lot of wonderful things, and of course can respond very well. But this is a unique situation. And these people that have an axe to grind, that want to become media stars, that want to demonstrate what a martyr they can be, they purposefully and meticulously plan their attacks, and they look for a vulnerable population. They look for a place where nobody can stop them. They go and commit their act. It only takes 1 or 2 or 5 or 7 minutes. Then we have the murders, and then the police arrive, but it's too late to help. If we have concealed carry holders, I believe we can deter some of these crazy killers from murdering our loved ones.
And some have criticized the bill, saying that it would force professors on campus to feel like they had to step up and take the shot, or be a police force in the absence of a police force. What did you say to that?
Well, that's part of the confusion. Concealed carry in Arkansas is in no way akin to law enforcement. And training for law enforcement, the responsibilities of law enforcement, the compensation for law enforcement, all of those things go together. Concealed carry in Arkansas merely says, if you pay the fees, if you do the background checks, if you take the training, if you invest the time, then you are able to carry a concealed weapon, and the use is for self-defense. In this situation, the fact that there are people who could pull out the weapon for self-defense, I believe very strongly, is enough to deter some of those people that would prey on our loved ones from coming to the college campus to wreak havoc.
And tragically, as you were running the bill in committee, there was yet another shooting on a college campus in South Carolina, a story that we've heard way too many times. The bill did not pass. You had a 10-10 split going into it. You told me in advance that it was probably going to be a 10-10 vote, and you were right. You needed 11 votes to get it out of the committee. What are the plans for the future here?
Well, as we could tell from the way the vote came down, 10 Republicans voted for the bill, 10 Democrats voted against the bill. Once again, we have a pretty clear split in terms of party philosophy on issues like this. And while I respect each representative's thoughtfulness, and I know that they thought about this bill very hard. There were emotions involved in this. There were lots of outside groups that had opinions, whether it was the colleges themselves, the NRA, and others. So I know people were very, very thoughtful. But one of the things you see in politics, in the very, very large decisions, major things that have to do with how do we think about taking care of our loved ones or big budget decisions.
Emotive issues, really.
Yes, you'll see that party philosophies can really be indicative of how people think.
So do you plan to run the bill again?
Well, I haven't thought yet what the next steps are. I want to take in all the learning I got. As you mentioned, it was a 2 or 3 hour exchange of discussion, so I want to process all that. What I would love to do is any of the questions that people ask me, if I could make an adjustment to the bill to resolve those questions.
Go ahead and then run it after you made that. All
Yeah.
right. Well, thank you so much, Representative Collins. I appreciate you taking the time. Rebby, back to you.